These monitors provide an awesome improvement in sharpness that's just as useful while web browsing or watching 4K movies or playing games. Though 1080p 24-inch gaming monitors can reach higher refresh rates for smoother gameplay, some 4K displays are now reaching comparable speeds. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Acer Nitro 15282KKV. The Acer Nitro 15282KKV is a 28-inch 4K monitor with a 144Hz refresh rate and AMD FreeSync support. It also supports HDMI 2.1, so it can handle 4K/120Hz gameplay from an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. The monitor is VESA Display HDR 400 certified and uses an IPS panel to deliver exceptional image quality and viewing angles. The screen looks sharp and crisp, and it has outstanding color performance including spot-on color accuracy and a very wide color gamut. This adds up to vibrant, lifelike images. Although marketed primarily to gamers, the 15282KKV's color performance makes it perfect for professional content creators. The biggest flaw is a mediocre contrast ratio that leads to a hazy, dull look in dark scenes. The HDR is bright enough to add pop to some HDR scenes, but it's not a huge upgrade over SDR. This monitor is not the most affordable, but it does outperform most monitors in its price range, especially for gaming. Acer achieves this by making a few cuts to build quality. The 15282KKV has a sturdy stand that adjusts for height, tilt, and swivel, but the monitor's design is plain and its construction is merely functional. Number 2. Dell S2721QS. The Dell S2721QS is a 27-inch 4K monitor with an IPS panel. It has a 60Hz refresh rate, supports HDR, and is among the least expensive 4K monitors available. Despite its price, the S2721QS provides great image quality in a wide range of content. It has a high maximum brightness, superb sharpness, and good overall color performance. Its contrast ratio is near the top of IPS panels, so it looks better in dark scenes than most similar monitors. The monitor supports HDR input, but it's only HDR ready instead of VESA Display HDR certified. That's a bit surprising because, in our tests, it performed better than some monitors that are certified. Don't get too excited, however. While it can add vibrance to HDR content, it's only a modest improvement over SDR. Unfortunately, this monitor doesn't support adaptive sync, which will probably disappoint gamers who prefer smooth, fast-paced gameplay. It's still a great choice for games with a slower pace, such as strategy or simulation titles. This is a sleek, modern monitor that looks great on a desk and feels sturdy despite the low price. It ships with a quality stand that can adjust for height, tilt, swivel, and even rotate 90 degrees. Number 3. BenQ PD3220U. The BenQ PD3220U is a 32-inch 4K monitor designed for professional use. It has a 60Hz refresh rate, supports HDR, and uses an IPS panel. It also has a USB-C Thunderbolt 3 port with power delivery that can charge a compatible laptop. The monitor's additional USB-A ports make it useful as a USB hub. As the name implies, the PD3220U is similar to the smaller PD2725U. It shares the smaller model's top-tier color accuracy, very wide color gamut, and great sharpness, all of which make it a great monitor for professional content creation. However, the larger PD3220U suffers a lackluster contrast ratio that falls behind most competitors. This hurts the monitor's depth and realism when using it for entertainment. The monitor supports HDR but at only 250 nits is nowhere near bright enough to properly display HDR content. You're better off sticking with SDR. This monitor is simple but handsome and feels expensive when handled. It has a stand that adjusts for height, tilt, and swivel, but it can't pivot due to its size. Number 4. Asus ROG Strix XG43UQ. The Asus ROG Strix XG43UQ is a 43-inch 4K monitor with a 144Hz refresh rate and a VA panel. It is VESA Display HDR 1000 certified. Since the ROG Strix XG43UQ is much larger than a typical 4K monitor, it can be used as an HD TV replacement in a small room or studio apartment. Asus leans into this, and the monitor has not one but two HDMI 2.1 ports that can handle 4K/120Hz gameplay from an Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5. It's even compatible with AMD FreeSync. The monitor's VA panel provides an outstanding contrast ratio, good color performance, and a wide color gamut. Movies and games tend to look great on this monitor, but vibrant and bright content stands out the most. This monitor's extremely high maximum brightness can deliver a serious punch in HDR content. However, it lacks a mini-LED backlight like that found in the Asus ROG Swift PG32UX, so HDR content can struggle when very bright objects are placed against a dark background. Although similar in size to a small television, the XG43UQ will remind you that it's a monitor. It has obvious bezels and is thicker than many HD TVs. The wide stand is more stable than many televisions but lacks the adjustment you might expect from a monitor. It can only adjust for tilt.